Holy Emperor, this book is 20 years old, and ever since then I've wanted the Stormblade Super Heavy Tank. It's Matt from the Large Blast podcast, and I'm going to show you how to make one without buying the full kit. This kit is still available on the Forge World website, though I'm sure the kit was updated around 2007 with the first plastic baneblade, but still, to be honest, the amount of resin and the price tag put me off. Even looking at the latest kit, I still wanted to find another way to make it. I also didn't like the fact that really you'd be stuck with one option. If you glue all that resin together, you're just going to have a Stormblade for life. Recently I'd made my own Octoblade. That is a baneblade that's magnetized for all 8 versions of the Super Heavy Tank. But now I'm going to make a Nonablade. That is a Super Heavy with all 9 variations. This is the actual kit on the Forge World website, and I'm just going to stick on a Mars pattern warhound plasma blast gun. It's perfect, it's basically the same thing, I just need to get rid of those fuel bits on the bottom. So it was 50 quid when I bought it, but actually I was able to sell those fuel bits on eBay for £8, so I got rid of them. So I'm just left with the basic model. I picked up a shadowsword sprue on eBay, and this is what I'm going to use to make the superstructure for the new Stormblade. So I've already got the basic chassis of the Super Heavy Tank from doing my Octoblade. I'll link some really good videos for how to make this in the description below, because they were really useful for me to do. So you can see some of the magnets on the top there. I've got the superstructure, and I've just marked out what I'm planning to do. I'm planning to cut out that center bit to put the main gun in. There are a couple of videos showing how to make the Stormblade, but I wanted to do it so it was compatible with the Octoblade. So if you've already got an Octoblade, or if you've got a baneblade waiting to be built, then this video would be helpful. So I'm just going to work out what I need to cut off. I'm going to use a lot of the back detail. Now I've seen people cut away most of the superstructure to put the gun in, but I'm going to actually cut away some of the gun. This will allow me to lose a bit of the weight of the resin because it's quite a heavy lump. So at the moment I've just cut out that rear detail that was on the superstructure, but the whole is the same. I'm going to lose these clips so I can add it onto my Octoblade. So now I've got to think about what to lose from the gun to get it in to the superstructure without losing too much of that front plating. Yeah, it's a 50 quid gun, so I'm going to be careful with this. All in all, it's probably costing the same amount as the actual Forge World kit. But this way you get 9 options. I've marked what I'm planning to cut off just with a black marker just to make it more visual. Basically all the detail is going to go, and then I'm just going to test fit it before cutting off too much. There's also a line of detail, almost like a datum, so I'm taking everything away from that to start with. So now that detail has been removed using a Dremel, which was very useful for doing this, but do remember it's resin, so make sure you wear a mask. I've tried to take off the least amount that I could just to kind of see where I am, to gauge how much more I need to take off. I don't want to take too much material off at this point. So using that, I've worked out I need to take a little bit more on the hole, because there's actually a bit of a angle to it, so it's not actually straight. A couple more adjustments, probably in total it was only a mil, maybe a fraction over. This helped me work out what next to cut off, and that top ring, which goes on the Titan's arm, that needs to come off. So do the power cables on the underside. With those removed, it's time to have another test fit. You can see that line of detail quite clearly there, and that's basically where the gun is going to sit up to in the superstructure now. That's starting to sit in there quite nicely, and that top of the gun is sitting on the roof of the superstructure, so that's a good glue join. As I'm working, I'm testing it on the actual tank that I have. This allows me to check the position of the gun in relation to the rest of the tank. And here you can see how it's sitting up on the top of that superstructure, and then I will be adding the corresponding magnets within this new subassembly. The magnets need to be relatively strong because the gun naturally will tip forward with the weight of the resin. So this is my shadowsword superstructure. You can see the magnets in there. I've just got them stuck on some foam board with a hot glue gun. All I'll need to do is just replicate that on the new superstructure. Having the foam board there and the hot glue gun allows me to put the magnets in position on the tank and then put the top on, gluing the superstructure to the magnets, creating no problems with polarity. And now I need to glue the gun onto the body. But before I do that, I'm just constantly checking the position of the gun, make sure I'm happy with, for example, how far forward it sticks out, etc. So I'll be using that good gluing spot to put a load of super glue in place, and then because of the weight and because we're going to be unmagnetizing this part, I'm going to be adding in some foam board that's going to clip it in place, and that will be glued in with lots of hot glue. You just have to make sure that none of this clashes with the main body of the tank. That's all glued in place now, and it is pretty strong. It's stronger than I thought it was going to be. I haven't had to add any more glue in, but that really feels like it's one sub-assembly now. So now we can do the first magnetized test fit. That is looking pretty good. Now I've got to think about how I can fill all this detail in. This I hadn't really planned for, but there is nothing that a bit of plastic card can't solve. So I've added on the details. You'll also see there's a bit inside the hatch. That's just so I can magnetize a character later. Added some detail on the bottom. There's detail on the sides. Filled in the hole that's created at the bottom there. I've kind of layered it as well, so it's just to give a bit of detail, and I've used a pin vise just to put some holes in along this top piece, and I will glue in some little rivets that I've actually made from milliput, tiny little things, and that's just going to add a little detail just to catch the eye. But I need to add some side panels on, and I need to think about sorting out the detail on the bottom. To help with this, I've actually raided my bits box, as I need a hatch, a heavy bolter for the side panel, and a few extra details. These little pieces I'm playing with at the moment, they come with the extra sprue, and I've just made a mirrored copy with plasticard. Then these parts, which I never know what they're for, I can cover the heavy bolter holes. I think if you wanted to, you could probably make some better pieces here that look more like the Forge World kit, but it didn't matter for me. Using trial and error and some paper templates, I was able to cut the side panels out. If you glue them on plasticard, you can just cut the plasticard out. Those have been glued on. I've added the rivets, well, most of the rivets, then some of the extra details. There's a shield piece and the heavy bolters on the side. That's based on the Forge World kit. And then around all of the edges, some further holes, I filled in with some milliput. With the use of a Dremel, honestly I did this in an evening, so it's a really easy conversion to do. I would recommend it.
A few moments later.
And here she is, Dream Tank. It's great. Having the additional parts under the gun is quite good just for this version of the tank, because you can just do a few light effects on it just to make that glow look even better. So if you've already got a baneblade kit that's been made into an Octoblade, then for 50 quid and an additional £10 for the extra sprue, you can get this variant of the tank. The magnets hold the parts together really well. I did glue these two components together though, because they opened up a little bit under the weight of the resin. I hear they're really good at killing Estrella Space Marine tanks, and just for fun, let's have a look at all the versions. I hope this guide has been useful. If you're thinking about getting a baneblade kit, or if you have one, then I recommend magnetizing it. If you want the Stormlord, then I would recommend going down this route, although the Forge World kit is lovely, and if anyone can magnetize that, then that would be amazing to see. Do check out our podcast, we record every 2 weeks.